what it is, guys. You know who it is. It's Alan Lawyer here, aka Alanizing, with another episode of Alanizing. Today, got the NFL, the Super Wildcard just happened, and we're gonna give my review, my opinions, and takeaways from the Wildcard weekend, and we're gonna get into the preview of the divisional playoffs. Right, and in between, there's gonna be little news that happened throughout the week. But let's start off with the Texans, right? In the AFC, as they beat the Browns 45-14, and I started off Saturday as 1-1 in the predictions, right? But that was not the score that I expected. CJ Stroud is having the best quarterback or rookie quarterback season ever, bro. He's on a roll. Stats wise for the season, he was like more than 4,000 yards, had a touchdown interception ratio of 23-5, bro. 5 interceptions is the least in the league for a rookie to only have 5 interceptions when Peyton Manning had 28. And he had a lot of passing attempts. It wasn't like he only had like 5 passing attempts. He had about 300, 400. It wasn't top 5 in passing attempts, but it was just up there, at least top 10. They only have 5 interceptions. That's insane. But CJ Stroud for the game, he was 16-21 versus the Browns, 274 passing yards, touchdown interception ratio of 3-0, a 98.4 QBR, and a passer rating of 157.2. All in his first playoff game, not his first playoff start, not his first playoff, his first playoff game. The passing touchdown that he had to Dalton Schultz, I wasn't even anxious. I think it was like a play action or a bootleg, and he went to the right and he just threw a long pass. I wasn't even nervous. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't scared. I was like, that's how much trust I have in Stroud. I was like, it's either going to be a completion or it's going to be like barely an incompletion, but it was a touchdown. That's how much I trust him right now, and I think that's how much Houston trusts him right now. The running game was the complement to the offense, 76 yards total as a team total. Nico Collins had 6 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. The Browns' number 1 defense, right? The number 1 total defense did not show up. They disappeared. They had no sacks, only 1 QB hit. Myles Garrett, supposedly, he was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. He was up there in sacks. He had 0 sacks this game, 0 QB hits, 3 total tackles. But I'm gonna give Laremy Tunsil some credit. He locked him up pretty well till he got injured, and then they double teamed him, and he just kind of disappeared for the game. So I was disappointed in Garrett. The Browns' offense was just as bad as a defense. Right? The first half they were doing well, but then the second half they just collapsed. Joe Flacco threw 2 back-to-back pick sixes. One was to Nelson, one was Christian Harris. Shout out Christian Harris, though. I mean, there's like this clip that they just came out recently from the Mic'd Up where D'Amico Ryans is telling Christian Harris exactly the play. He said, if he gives you this look, stay with the tight end, get the pick. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what happened. And that's the end of the game pretty much. Second pick six, the game was over. Joe Flacco was 34 for 46, 307 passing yards, touchdown interception ratio of 1-2, 57 QBR, stunk, and then passer rating of 80.6, while my boy CJ Stroud had 98.4. If you guys didn't catch that when I first said it, 98.4 QBR, it's near 100, which means he was damn near perfect. But the Houston defense, they came to play. They did what the Browns couldn't. They got pressure. They had 4 sacks, 7 QB hits. Will Anderson, Greenard, Christian Harris were all there, and they looked dangerous. Texans look dangerous, and we're going to talk about it later. Their next game is versus the Ravens. Later that Saturday night, the Chiefs beat the Friends 26-7, and I was tuned to the predictions. I was looking good. All right, my homie, he played well. I wouldn't say he played excellent, but he played well. He played decent. He had 23 of 41, 262 yards, touchdown interception ratio of 1-0, 88 QBR, and a passer rating of 83.6. The running game was active since it was freezing. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to throw the ball that much, even though they threw for 41. But the running game was active, like I said. 147 yards total, 89 for Pacheco, and he had a touchdown. Rashee Rice stepped up where Kelsey didn't. Kelsey had a few drops, but Rice had 8 catches on 12 targets for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. The Fins defense had 5 QB hits, but that really didn't seem to affect the game, maybe because of the cold. The cold affected KC more than the Miami defense, in my opinion. Yes, they have a lot of injuries, but it's the playoffs. More excuses. Let's get this done. But I told y'all, man. I already knew this was coming because I told y'all. The Dolphins, the Fins, they are frauds. The Fin frauds, okay? Gone their own way multiple times. Got a bunch of drop passes. Most are dropped, like 2 of them. Penalties. The roughing the passer on Wilkins. I know it was soft, but it was late. It was late, and they know they're gonna call it. Like, it was late, and it hit him in the chest, and they pushed him. Kind of soft. But this is the NFL today. They're going to call that, especially on poster boy Mahomes. They're going to call it. You know this. So I don't want people getting mad. Like, we know this was going to happen. On offense, Tua, he was 20 for 39, 199 yards. A touchdown reception ratio 101. A 15 QBR. A passer rating of 63.9. I know it was freezing cold. I know it was, and a lot of people were giving, I don't know if it's Dolphins fans or just his fans, and I like him. He was obviously in Alabama. I like Alabama. But no more excuses, bro. There's a bunch of excuses for him. Oh, it was freezing cold. Well, the other guy on the other side, Mahomes, he looked pretty good. He didn't seem to affect him that much. He still threw. He still did a pretty decent game. Come on. Like, so just cut it with the excuses, bro. Gotta do better than that. I will give Tua, though, that the running game didn't help. Only had 76 total yards. And a lot of what they do predicates from the running game. But, damn, Tyreek only had like 5 receptions and 62 yards for for the 1 touchdown. It was a good one. It was a nice touchdown, but only 1 touchdown. KC, the defense looks healthy. They look ready. They got 2 sacks, 5 QB hits, 6 passes defended in this game. They kept the number 1, quotation marks, Miami offense in check. Right? If Rice and Kelsey perform well together at the same time, it's not like if he doesn't show up, the other one has to show up. If he does, or if it's Kelsey by himself, it's just him, or if it's Rashee Rice has to step up. If they both play well together, I think KC can be a problem, and they can go far, man. Because the defense, top 2 defense in the league, like statistically, total defense. Number 2, you add Mahomes, and you give him you get Kelsey to come up, and or another competent receiver. KC gonna be a problem. So watch out for that versus the Bills. Speaking of the Bills, they play until Monday because of that snowstorm or whatever. They played on Monday and they beat the Steelers 31-17. 3 for 3 in the predictions, guys. I mean, by that time it was that much, but 3 for 3 was in the predictions. Bills started off hot. They went up 21-0 in the second quarter. Pittsburgh got back in the game as they blocked a field goal, and then after that led to a touchdown. Pitt's 2 turnovers that cost them was the Elam interception in the end zone, where Rudolph threw and then Elam obviously intercepted it, and the Pickens fumble. I think Shakir's effort touchdown sealed it, and then after that, Buffalo calmed the storm and everything settled, and they won. Josh Allen finished with 31-30, 203 yards. My bad. Touchdown reception ratio 3-0. He ran for a touchdown, had a 91 QBR. And a passer rating of 121.9. And the run game team total was 179 yards. The Bills defense, 6 QB hits, 8 passes defended, and a pick, obviously the Elam one. Mason Rudolph threw for 22-39, 229 yards. Touchdown reception ratio of 2-1. QBR 41 and a passer rating of 80. And they only ran for about 106 yards. The offense. Steelers D, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits. Obviously missed TJ. Obviously missed him. Even with him, I think they were going to lose, so it didn't really matter. A lot of people saying, oh, with TJ, I think it probably would have been the same. Maybe it would have been 24-17, but I think Bills still would have won. It was cold as fuck up there, okay? The Bills crowd was hyped. They were throwing snowballs. It was written. We know Bills were going to win, and they did. Now on the NFC side, right? And NFC. The Green Bay Packers. How about them Cowboys, man? How about them? They lost. Green Bay beat them 48-32. And I was 3-4 for the predictions. I actually picked them. And they do this. How embarrassing, bro. But first, alright, before I get on the Cowboys, before I go on to destroy them, I want to give props to Green Bay, okay? I didn't believe in them. I didn't believe in Jordan Love, and he came out 16 for 21, 272 yards, 3-0 on the touchdown interception ratio, 99.3 QBR, almost damn near perfect, and 157.2 passer rating, which is also near perfection. I think a perfect passer rating is 158.3. He had pressure in his face, and he still threw with accuracy, man. Like, what was that one throw? On the third touchdown, I think it was to Hyatt, thanks his name. Number 13 for Green Bay. Literally, Michael Parsons about to get him. And he just backs up, throws it, jumps in the air, 2 feet in the sky. Well, not in the sky, in the air. And he just lets it go right in the hands of the receiver for the 3rd touchdown. I was like, whoa. What's going on, man? He played great. Aaron Jones, 118 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. He's the spark that starts this engine for the Packers. Romeo Doubs, he had 6 receptions on 6 targets, 151 yards, and 1 touchdown. The defense of Joe Barry's defense had 4 sacks, 9 QB hits, 2 picks and 1 pick 6, which is a Darnell Savage pick 6. But then, man. So I give Green Bay all their credit, man. But the Cowboys, they choked it, bro. Like, let's be real, bro. They choked this game. They blew it. They shrank. They bottled it, etc. Any other term you want to use. They did that, okay? They overlooked the Green Bay Packers. They did not take them seriously. They looked ahead, and this is what happened. They got beat down. Bro, you cannot be the 2nd seed and lose to the 7th seed at home. This is the first time it ever happens. That your talent is way better than your Green Bay Packers this year, and you lose to that, bro. Like, I like Dak, okay, as a guy. He seems like a cool guy. I don't know him personally, obviously, but from what he portrays and everything, he looks like a cool guy. Nothing against him personally, but as a football player, every single playoff time, when it's the big games, he just crumbles, man. 41-60, 403 yards, boosted because they were behind, so you have to throw more, like 60 passing attempts, bro, like, because they're way behind. Touchdown interception ratio is 3-2, 43 QBR, 89.8 passer rating. Even he admitted himself he played like garbage. I think he said, I don't know what specifically he said. He said he played like ass or garbage, something like that, around those lines. The running game didn't help, but we already knew that Dallas, they don't run the ball. So, and then half of it was his. 45 yards was what Dak contributed in the running game. So then the team total stacks up at 78 yards. Like, though we already knew, Dallas doesn't have a run game. They just don't. CD Lamb had some great plays. He had 9 receptions, 110 yards, bomb, 17 targets. He dropped some of those, or they were just way off by Dak, like way off. And Jake Ferguson deserves some love. He had like 10 receptions. He deserves some love, even if they're already behind. Still deserves some love. The defense were probably worse in my opinion. They just got ran over. There was trash. 6 DBs in the back and cover 2. Why would that's what they were talking about? That Dan Quinn, why do you obviously knows more football than me, but bro, that's football 101. Why do you have 6 defensive backs playing cover 2 when you know they're running the ball? You gotta stack the box. What are we doing? If we know it's a close game, all right, you gotta do defensive schemes. We know they're gonna run the ball. They're up by 1,000 points. I don't know what he was doing. A bunch of people have said this too. People in the media, football experts have said this too. Like, what are we doing here? Green Bay, I mean, it was funny for me, but watching it on TV was hilarious. I was eating my pizza, man, and just seeing these picks and just seeing these touchdowns, I was just laughing. Like, it was so funny, dude. Hilarious. But Green Bay, they were just free everywhere. The offense was free everywhere. Bunch of missed tackles. Specifically, I remember the Musgrave touchdown. Just nobody followed him. He was by his lonesome. He got into the touchdown. Like, just nobody was there. Nobody was there. It was straight up embarrassing, bro. For the Cowboys, but for me, it was hilarious. They had 0 sacks, 3 QB hits, 1 pass defended. Micah Parsons, the guy that talks so much in his podcast, only had 2 tackles, total tackles, 0 sacks, 0 pressures, 1 QB hit. That's it. I know he gets held a lot, like most elite pass rushers, but most elite pass rushers get held. So it's not an excuse. You gotta find a way to overcome that, and he did it. And I'm still in shock, bro. I'm still in shock that they actually lost this game. And there's been a lot of, from Cowboys fans, who's to blame, the coach, the players. And it is a mixture of those two, but I think the one who's the most to blame, because it's been going on for 28 years, it's Jerry Jones. There's been different players and coaches, but there's only been one variable that doesn't change, and that is the owner, Jerry Jones. Now you ask, how and why is it the owner? Why would you say that, Alanizing? Well, Jerry, ever since Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells, he doesn't like to pick those type of head coaches. The ones like to create their own football culture, the ones who are like hands-on. He doesn't like to pick those guys because Jerry, he likes to micromanage. He likes full control of the team. He likes full control of the business side, the football operations side. That's what he likes. He likes it his way and my way, and that's it. The main thing is that he just likes to micromanage. Likes to full control. And that has been the downfall of the Cowboys, because he gives himself and the players too much power, in my opinion. And what I mean that he gives the players too much power is that he gives little to none power to the head coach. So the head coach has no say. The head coach can't say, I'm gonna bench you, I'm gonna do this to you, you can't play. Because then the player is gonna go up to the coach. He's gonna right beside the coach. He's gonna tell the owner, hey bro, this man doesn't want to play me. And the owner's like, if he is fond of him, he's gonna be like, oh well, you gotta play him. And then there's just no pattern. Not pattern, but there's just no discipline. There you go. There's no discipline in it, because the guy, if the coach who sees you every day in practice, knows how you play, what you do on the football field, tells you you're not ready to play, and you just throw that to the side and go to the owner who doesn't watch you every day, say, oh, I want to play, this is what's going to happen. The downfall has happened for years. And then, was it yesterday or this week, Jerry Jones announced that he's keeping McCarthy. And he just does. This is so funny because he just doesn't want to see the team progress. And and I'm all for it, man. I'm here for it. This is funny to me. It's another year of the Cowboys not doing anything. That's hilarious to me. But if I was a Cowboys fan, I'll be pretty pissed off. And Jerry Jones has always said, I've never understood this from him. Either he doesn't know the problem, like he literally is oblivious to the problem, or he's just so delusional. He's so, the Spanish word is necio. What is it? It's so stubborn. There you go. He's so stubborn. He just doesn't want to let it go. I think he knows he's the problem. He knows he's the problem. Like, let go of that stubbornness of wanting to control the full team, of wanting the pride of saying this is my team and I constructed this team and all the credit goes to me. You gotta let it go. Gotta let it go if you want to win another Super Bowl, in my opinion. And it looks, so far, it looks like it doesn't work the way he wants to do it, because they haven't won it in 28 years or more. So they gotta change something, and they haven't actually. They're not, and that's why I'm happy, because that's just hilarious, bro. But I'm not saying McCarthy's a bad coach, but you just seen he just can't push it over the line. So they kept him, and the Cowboys probably next year going like 12-5 again, 11-6 maybe, and then just to do the same thing. Just gonna repeat and repeat. Moving on though to the Lions versus the Rams. The Lions beat the Rams 24-23 in a close game. Most of us called it that was going to be a close game, and it was. And that's when I became 3-5 in the predictions, right? So how about them Lions, though? So how about them Cowboys? How about them Lions? First playoff win since 1991. It's like 32 years without winning a playoff game. It's the first one in Ford Field. The energy was crazy. It was electric. I got goosebumps in the end when Goff took a knee and solidified that they won. Like the QB kneel, and the place went berserk. Congrats to the Lions. Congrats to the fans. Congrats to Dan Campbell. That is what their minimum they've been hoping for, just to get a playoff win. And they got it. Jared Goff was 22 for 27, 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 74.6 QBR, passer rating of 121.6. The running game was effective. They had 2 touchdowns on the ground, but only 79 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 7 receptions on 9 targets, 110 yards. Josh Reynolds had 5 catches for 80 yards. They started off really hot, the Lions offense, but then cooled down in the second half. The Lions defense was solid. Apart from Puka, they were doing well. They only allowed 68 rushing yards while disrupting Stafford for 2 sacks and 7 QB hits. Specifically, Aiden Hutchinson, he had like 2 sacks and 5 QB hits. He was balling out. The Rams defense was also balling out. They had like 3 sacks, 6 QB hits, and they tightened up in the second quarter after the first quarter was being dominated by the Lions. Stafford went 25 for 36, 367 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 75 QBR, and a passer rating of 120.9. Bro played in really good in his old house thanks to Puka. Puka Nacua, who had 9 catches on 10 targets, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, most yards by a rookie in a postseason game. I mean, if it weren't for CJ Stroud, clearly he'd be like the number 1 clear offensive rookie of the year. You can debate it. You can make an argument for either one, because you can make the argument, CJ's quarterback, and that obviously makes it more valuable. And he's the one that's he's turning around the Texans franchise. You could say Puka because he relies on someone else. He relies on a quarterback for him to be good. So he has to be good, and then he has to say his quarterback has to gain enough trust that the quarterback will pass him the ball a lot in his rookie season, like Matthew Stafford did. To be honest, it's going to be a real tough decision for, the journalists to have to pick it out. And let's see who they go. All right, for me personally, I think I'd go for CJ because he's a quarterback. Because he just turned around that team. Like, it's hard. You get more blame as a quarterback, and you get more credit because you're the quarterback, man. Like, everything revolves around the quarterback. So I would actually pick CJ in the situation, though. It'd be really close. It'd be very close. The last possession of the Rams, like on a 3rd and 14, I think it was, there was a hold on Puka by Cameron Sutton. I think it should have been called, but the refs missed it. That would have been, I note it, because if they get that call, Rams get a new set of downs, and they probably score on that. So I was pretty flabbergasted that the refs didn't call that. I don't know, maybe it's because they're in Detroit, but for me, I think they should have called that. But Lions move on for their second playoff game. Damn. Crazy. The Bucks, right? Last game. That's when I went 3 for 6 in the predictions. Half, not bad, but it's whatever. You can do better. They won. They beat the Eagles 32-9. I'm embarrassed I picked the Eagles, to be honest, bro. Like, I really picked the Eagles after their downfall. But, you know, they're kind of like the Cowboys. But let's start off with getting the Bucks there. Congratulations. Mayfield was 22 for 36, 337 yards. Touchdown reception ratio 3-0. 42.7 QBR. Passer rating of 119.8. Their defense had 3 sacks, 6 QB hits. They just blew the Eagles out of Raymond James Stadium. But like I was saying, like the Cowboys, this is Philly self-destructing, especially on defense. They started off really slow. They were missing a bunch of tackles. Bradbury on Palmer's touchdown, horrible. He just like slid off him. I don't know what he's doing. And but then they started getting 4 sacks at the end, but it was already too late. Patricia started calling good plays too late. On offense, they gave up on the run too quickly. Only had 42 total yards, and that didn't help Jalen with his messed up finger and his knee or whatever injuries he has. Jalen was 25 for 35, 250 yards. Touchdown reception ratio 1-0. 40 QBR, 100.9 passer rating. The offense was a mess. The only bright spot was Devontae Smith, who had like 8 receptions, 148 yards. The Eagles, man, like total season, in totality, I think just after the Niners beat the brakes off them, they were never the same. They never recovered. I think that really broke their confidence because we beat them in Philly. Remember, we got to remember that we beat them in Philadelphia in front of their fans. And I think that really broke their confidence. That broke the camaraderie they had in the locker room. And there's been a lot of noise to fire Sirianni. He still has his job as of right now that I'm recording this. Still has his job. And a lot of fans want him fired. But my opinion, they shouldn't fire him. They should only fire him if the players like just totally gave up on him. It looked like they did on the field, right? But recently in the press conferences, like Jalen Hurts said, "Oh, isn't it going anywhere?" Like sarcastically, like, "Well, I didn't know he's going anywhere." And then Fletcher Cox saying, like, "Oh, it's dumb to ask me these questions about him getting fired or him leaving. He's the head football coach here." So the players are backing him up publicly, but on the field, it didn't look like that. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But I think if for real the players just gave up on him and they're not going to listen to him, then you should fire him. But if they're still on his side, give him another year. I think he messed up in not getting the right coordinators for offense and defense. Right, this year they just didn't go, like Sean Desai and the other dude. I forgot the offense coordinator for us, Brian Johnson. Right? He found a Shane Steichen. He found a Jonathan Gannon. There's a realm of possibility where he could find those guys again. Not specifically them, but around, the same type of makeup or the same type of skills. He could find those. He found them once. He could probably find them again. So keep Sirianni. Come on, dude. Philly fans, they're getting spoiled. They're becoming like the thing they hate the most. They're starting to become Cowboys fans. Or we have to win. Like, you only have one Super Bowl, okay, in your lifetime. And you won the Super Bowl just last year, bro. Just calm down on trying to fire everybody and trying to get rid of everybody. Like, let them figure it out. And I think the Eagles will be back to being pretty good. I don't know what happened. I think that game, it just broke them. And give them another year. See what they do. But let's go on to the divisional predictions, right? The Texans versus the Ravens. First game on Saturday. Baltimore's favored by 9 points. But I'm taking the Texans. All right, I know a lot of players. They're listed questionable. Will Anderson, Christian Harris, Perriman, John Mechie. They all played just last week. And every little injury goes on the injury list. And I'm starting to think they do that just because, to confuse the ops, right? To confuse the opposition. Like, is he playing? Is he not playing? We don't know. So we game plan for them. Should we not? I think that's what's going on. So that's why they all have these players listed as questionable. But similar thought to last week, right? About the Texans. These boys ain't care. They don't care who's in front of them. And they got nothing to lose. They already overachieved. I think even the 9-point spread is a lot. Okay, I think Even if they do lose, it's going to be a close game. I believe in CJ Stroud. I believe in D'Amico Ryans. And the team believes in them. That's what matters most. The team believes in them, and they believe in themselves. The Ravens are pretty much injury-free. There's only like a few players listed questionable. I know they had the most sacks, like 50-something sacks. I know they're a top 6 total defense, right, statistically. But Lamar, he's 1-3 in the playoffs, right? I've seen them lose in the divisional as a 1 seed versus the Titans in 2019. I saw that. They had a month, like 2 weeks rest. They lost that. They've been like us sometimes. They've been like the Niners, where injuries happen at the worst times for them. That could possibly happen again. History could repeat itself, right? So give me the upset. I'm going Texans 26-23. Bold. That's a bold prediction, bro. Give me the Texans 26-23. Later that day, on Saturday, the Niners are going against the Packers. We're favored by 9 points. I think that the Pack, right, whooping Dallas is the best thing that could have happened, because the way they dominated, all right, I think the way they dominated the game alerted the Niners, like, we can't take them lightly. I don't think it'd be the same reaction if the Packers barely scrapped by the Cowboys. Feels like 29-27. They'd be like, oh, they played a good game, but we think Dallas just, they probably missed a few things. We just need to clean that up and we'll be good. But since they dominated them, I think Niners players are saying, whoa, we better be on, like, straight up, or we're trying to get embarrassed like them. And I think that's the best thing that could happen. Best thing that could have happened. So we don't take them lightly, because the Cowboys already did. Coach Shanny, bro, is already planning. He said in his interview, he was already planning second half up 27-0. He was like, oh, what are the Packers doing? Let's see what they're doing. He's already planning, bro, because they're getting their asses kicked. That's the best thing I think can happen right now, because we're looking at that and saying we ain't trying to get embarrassed and be this, like, oh, everyone's killing the Cowboys right now. Everybody's killing like them. Everyone's killing them right now. And I don't think the Niners are trying to be in the same scenario. So, like, no, sir. Best thing that could have happened, in my opinion. From a Niners point of view, like actual game tactics now, I think our number one priority in this game is to stop Aaron Jones. All right, he's the offense. He's the thing that makes it run. Like I was saying, he's the spark of the engine. That's why they could throw the ball, because he was just running down the Cowboys' throats. Plus the horrible play calling that I was talking about. All right, Aaron Jones versus the Niners in 2 playoff games has ran for 48 yards per game, 4 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. We kept them under control. We've only allowed 93 yards per game this season. Only team that could really run on us was the Cards, and I think that's just we took them for granted. We stopped Jones like we have. I think Love has to play from behind. He has to throw the ball along. He's going to have to force it. And the Levi's crowd, if we get turnovers in Levi's crowd, I think what happened in the past will come true again. I think that's what's going to happen. On offense, Brock, I just need him not to turn over the ball. And the guys just show up prepared and amped to play. We'll win. We'll win 31-23. I think that's what's going to happen, all right? If we don't take them lightly, which I think we will. Okay, I don't think we will, and we'll do the things that we've been doing. 31-23. Give me those, bro. Give me us. Lions versus the Bucks. The Lions are favored by 6.5. I'm picking Detroit, right? Just because I think they're the better team, like roster-wise, like just the way they play. I think they're better, and it'd be in Detroit. Lions look healthy. I don't trust Baker, though he has played pretty well. Comparable numbers to Tom Brady's last season, which in reality is really good, because that was Tom Brady's one of the worst seasons Tom Brady has had, and now it's one of the ones best Baker's had. I don't think that's a good comparison, but anyways, he's played pretty well this season for him. CJ Juju, Gardner Johnson kind of called him out this week. Kind of called him out anonymously this week, saying Tampa is good. They just need a quarterback. Kind of taking a shot, saying he's not good. And then Baker said, "Oh, you haven't watched film, something." Not really paying attention to what Baker said, but I was just like, "Damn, you got called out by CJ Juju." Let's see if it does anything. See if it does anything to motivate him on Sunday. The Bucks, though, I kind of agree with CJ, bro. Like, the Bucks barely scrapped in the playoffs. Yes, I know they beat the Eagles, like we discussed. They were in shambles. They're in shambles right now. And I've said before, as a Niner fan, Detroit just scares me the most. They scared me the most going to the playoffs because, like, all they want is a playoff win. They got it now. So whatever happens now, just go win it. Might as well. We're already here. They got the same Texas mentality. There's no pressure. Maybe in this game versus the Bucks because they're the better team. But if it's us against them, oh, there's pressure on us. Like, they want to go to the Super Bowl, but it's like, we're the Lions, bro. We just got here. We're happy to be here. Niners, we've been trying to win this for years, so that's why I'm kind of scared. But anyways, I think it's going to happen. I think the NFC Championship is going to be us and the Lions. Lions are going to win 33-14 versus the Bucks to go to play us, I believe. Bills versus the Chiefs. All right, the Buffalo's favored by 3 points as it is in Buffalo. I'm picking the Bills. I know they have several injuries. Bernard got hurt versus Pittsburgh, and they got AJ Klein off the street. It's going to be in Orchard Park, Highmark Stadium. First time they meet in the playoffs in Buffalo. The other ones are both previous 2 meetings have been in Kansas City. Right, so it's crazy. I think the Bills fans, crazy Bills fans, are going to be up in that stadium, dude. KC, they're not the usual selves. All right, they can hide those deficiencies against the frauds, against the fraud fins. But against Buffalo, I don't think so. Buffalo's going to double team Kelsey. Someone else got to beat him. And I ain't betting on Rice to have the same numbers that he get versus the fraud fins. It's Mahomes' first road playoff game. I think he'll still play well, but we don't know. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I can't bet on it. And the time is now for Josh Allen and the Bills to beat their playoff nemesis. The time is now when they're not at their best. They're not at their full strength. You're in Buffalo, your own home stadium. The time now to beat them. I'm going with the Bills. Real close game. 28-27. That was end the review. Hope you guys liked the episode. We'll see what happens. And we'll be back for the conference championship rounds and the Super Bowl. See you on the next episode.